Later on in 2021, Splatoon 2 will be turning 4 years old, so if you haven't picked up the game yet, you might be thinking, is it worth picking up the game now? Am I too late to the party? So what we'll be doing in this video is pretty much giving you all of the information you need for you to make a decision on whether you think it is worth picking up the game now, 4 years after it did launch in 2017. So I will be covering topics including what you will get with the game, what the current state of the online is, whether people are still playing the game online 4 years down the road, and yeah, we'll be talking about the updates, and we'll be talking about the support for the game as well. But to start off with, what is Splatoon 2? So Splatoon 2 is a third person shooter where you play as evolved squids that can transform into people, and instead of shooting bullets like what you see in other shooters out there, you shoot paint like ink, and this leads to really unique but fun gameplay. Seriously, if you do pick up the game, you will have a blast playing it. So what do you get when you do pick up Splatoon 2? So you will have access to the single player campaign, which does contain around about 30 levels, and they sort of act like a tutorial to the game itself. And the multiplayer, they will teach you the mechanics. It is just a great way for you to sort of learn like the gameplay, because it is a little bit different. Like what I said before, it's not like any other shooter out there. And yeah, the single player definitely is a great way for you to get to grips with Splatoon 2. So yeah, you will get the single player, but the main complaint about the single player is that it's not the longest. A lot of people complete it in around about 8 hours, but it is like a replayability value in there. You will have to replay some levels if you want to unlock a special version of weapons in the multiplayer. So yeah, when you do get Splatoon 2, you will have access to the single player and the single player only. There is more single player content out there. There is the Octo Expansion DLC that will cost $20, where you will get 80 more levels, and those 80 levels are really great. I cannot recommend the Octo Expansion DLC enough. It is one of the best DLCs ever made. I cannot speak highly enough of the Octo Expansion DLC, but you will have to pay for that on top of your Splatoon 2 purchase, and you will not have access when you do pick up Splatoon 2 if you don't have a Switch Online membership. Now, some copies of the game do include a Switch Online membership, maybe for a year if you are lucky, or maybe 3 months or 6 months. But if you don't have a Switch Online membership, then you will not have access to the main sort of part of the game, and that is the multiplayer. You will not have access to Turf War, which is the regular battle. You will not have access to all of the ranked battle game modes, so Tower Control, Rainmaker, Splat Zones and Clan Blitz, and you will not have access to the co-op mode, Salmon Run, which again is really fun. But unfortunately, you will have to pay for a Switch Online membership to access all of that content I did just mention. So that is something worth considering about. Maybe you cannot afford to buy all of that stuff all in one go. What might help you out in that situation is that Splatoon 2 is going on sale quite a lot. It was available for around about $30 recently. I would definitely say all of that content is worth it, but you have to consider all of that cost when you are going into Splatoon 2. But yeah, I cannot recommend the multiplayer enough. It is the best shooter experience on the Switch. We don't have a lot of multiplayer shooters out there on the Switch, and yeah, definitely would recommend you buying a Switch Online membership to get the full experience that Splatoon 2 does offer. So speaking of the online multiplayer, what is the current state of the online? Are people still playing it? And yeah, I am really glad to say that 4 years down the road, people are still playing it. I did play Splatoon 2 early on this week at the start of January 2021. And yeah, I am still getting into lobbies really quickly. You don't have to wait long to get into a Splatoon 2 match, whether it be Turf War, whether it be any of the ranked battle game modes, and the same with Salmon Run as well. So if that was one of your fears going into buying Splatoon 2, don't be worried, you will easily get into a match. This game has a really great community still. There are still a lot of people still playing this game. The same can be said for the first game as well, by the way. A lot of people still playing Splatoon 1 on the Wii U, and the same can be said for Splatoon 2 on the Switch. You will easily get into a match. So what is the current support like for the game? Is Nintendo still supporting Splatoon 2 4 years later? And I am pleased to say that in January we are getting a bonus Splatfest, and Splatfest in Splatoon are pretty much in-game events where the community does come together. They are sort of like festivals where the community does debate topics that Nintendo does pose, and you fight for what team you believe in. And yeah, pretty much Nintendo did create exclusive stages for these Splatfests in Splatoon 2 as well. We did originally think that Splatfests were going to end in July 2019, but last year Nintendo did announce a few more, and they did announce one for January 2021. It will be a Mario themed Splatfest to celebrate Mario's 35th anniversary. And the question is, what power-up do you prefer? A Super Mushroom or a Superstar? Or what sort of effect do you prefer? A Supersize from a Super Mushroom or Invincibility from a Superstar? And yeah, that will be kicking off on the 15th of January. So if you want to experience Splatfest, then I would suggest for you to pick up Splatoon 2 as soon as possible, because we don't know whether we will get any more Splatfests outside of the Mario one we do know about that will be happening on the 15th of January. It will be going on for 2 days, so my suggestion for you is to pick up Splatoon 2 as soon as possible. If you are watching this video in January, hopefully, if you are watching this video later on in the year, hopefully Nintendo will do more Splatfest, but it's not a guarantee, because like I said, Nintendo did originally end Splatfest in July 2019. So this bonus Splatfest and all other ones we did get in 2020 were a big surprise. It is not a guarantee that we will get any more. Make sure you hit that red subscribe button below, because I will let you know if we do get a new Splatfest when we do get new updates for Splatoon 2. So make sure you hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with everything going off in the world of Splatoon 2. So in terms of updates, we did get really good support for the first 2 years of the game, adding in new stages, adding in new weapons. We did get a lot of new content for the first 2 or 3 years of the life cycle for Splatoon 2. But right now we are not getting any new stages or any new weapons, but there is so much there for you to experience if you are jumping into the game right now for the first time. There's so many weapons for you to use, so many stages for you to play on. There's just so much content for you to enjoy and to have fun playing on. So yeah, it is a little bit of a shame that we're not getting like new content, but we are still getting balance updates that will sort of patch and nerf and buff certain weapons here and there. Those updates seem to happen once every 3 months, so updates are sort of slowing down a little bit, but there's just so much content there in the game. You will not get bored playing the game. So yeah, to end this video, to answer the question in the title, is Splatoon 2 worth picking up in 2021? And my answer would be yes. This game is the best shooter on the Switch. The multiplayer is so much fun. There's nothing out there like this game, and if you are a shooter fan, then my suggestion for you is to pick up the game right now. do it right now. Go on Amazon after this video and buy it. Seriously, you will have a lot of fun playing the game. Buy it right now so that you can experience the Splatfest as well. But there is quite a lot there for you to consider. Maybe you can't afford to pick up Splatoon 2, pick up a year's worth of Switch Online, pick up the Octo Expansion DLC all in one go. My advice is, if you are sitting on the fence a little bit, you are a little bit undecided on whether you should pick up the game or not, what Nintendo typically do is they do a free demo where you can play Splatoon 2 for free for 7 days. That will be a really great way for you to judge whether you like the game or not. So maybe wait until then. They normally do it around about the end of March, around about the start of April. It's not a guarantee that Nintendo will do a free demo, but they have done one in the last couple of years. So yeah, it does look likely that they will do another one this year, but it's not a guarantee. So yeah, you have to sort of judge whether you think all of that content is worth picking up or not. My advice is yes, pick it up. I've had a lot of fun playing the game. I have put over 700 hours into the game, which is nothing compared to a lot of people out there. It's just that I have been busy making Splatoon 2 videos, and that has definitely taken a lot of my time. So I would have put more hours into the game. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. I'll definitely say Splatoon 2 is definitely worth picking up in 2021. And a lot of people in the comment section below will say something similar as well. So I feel like it is worth it. That's pretty much it for this video. I will see you in another video soon.